You keep saying these lights are holy and we have no permission to use them. Now you said, well, that's what he writes, because we have to distinguish between Chanukah and Purim. Why should I distinguish between Chanukah and Purim? What kind of scrutiny is that?
Between Chanukah and Purim, we differentiate between them because it's a completely different style of work. Let's say, okay, what connection is there between children who are just born, even entering the state of conception, and then are born, and then they grow, and they come to adolescence, and they're even drafted into the army, and then after all of these things, as a man, one must begin to work, to establish himself, perhaps a family, and so on. So how how is this part of his life different than when he begins to establish himself? It's entirely different until he concludes this entire process. Let's say, including the army service, he doesn't decide anything on his own, and he's treated accordingly. Yes, he's not independent. He's not a complete personality, a complete person of his own. This is how it is in spirituality. This is called Chanukah. However, when he begins to use his vessels of reception, he has an authority of his own. He has a will to receive, over which he is responsible. In that, he begins to resemble the Creator. And then he's called Adam, which is similar to the Creator. Before that, it's before the degree of Adam, of man. And so the corrections which we conduct in Purim are called the bodily corrections. However, in Chanukah, they're called spiritual corrections. You only gain the powers of Binah. And then with the powers of Binah, you correct the Malchut afterwards.
A few guys told me, look at Rav Leitman, what does he say? And I said, what does he say? And he says that if we study Kabbalah, there are no problems, no troubles, so what does that mean?
That's right, it's written, one who adds knowledge adds pain.
They heard you yesterday say, only those who study Kabbalah have problems and troubles. They heard you yesterday in the morning lesson.
Okay, the fact that I say that's correct, but I'm just repeating what the Kabbalists say. And what do I want to say by that? What did you answer them, by the way?
I said, go ask Rav, not me.
This is called a student. You need to tell them this. Guys, there is the path of Torah and the path of suffering. On the path of suffering, the darkness and the punishments, the blows are much greater. We are as beasts. We don't know where these blows come from, descend from. Now we're in the time of preparation. What is preparation? Like when you fall from the roof to the earth, then during the travel you feel just fine. And therefore, for the time being, you can say, Rav Leitman, but truly, we are in a state where we're preparing very great blows for ourselves on the path of Be'ito in its time. The plan must come to fruition, but there is the possibility of going through it in Rishena, hastening, shortening of the time, not just shortening it, but also all of the things that we go through, they go through us then, or we make them happen. And so this is by exertion, and this is desirable. This is what the Kabbalists say. They don't hide from us the fact that we'll get to the end of correction in any case. Don't use this method, don't use it. So, the power which advances the will to receive will advance it by force, by pushing it from behind. You want to advance that way? You're welcome to it. But you can take this force, this power, and to use it such that it won't push you from behind, but pull you from afore. And then you'll feel good. you'll need to hold on to this power and to draw it in order to advance you. And this is exertion. Exertion you'll need to make, but the suffering, the helplessness, the lack of understanding where things come from and why, where you're like a beast just running from one place to another. Imagine to yourself some small mouse like you in a room, four walls, and the cat constantly runs after you and you need to flee from corner to corner. And a cat, no, not just...
Fat, you mean, like...
No, it's not fat necessarily. It's thin, and all its fur is standing up. He must devour you, otherwise he dies of starvation. And we have a few cats like that in the world, and this is the situation.
So if so, I have a question. Well, not everybody studies Kabbalah. Not the whole world is studying Kabbalah, right? Many people are not.
For now.
Okay. Those people who don't know about it, who have no clue,
Yes.
do they go through anything, or is it just that
Everyone suffers.
they also suffer, these people?
Can't you see the world suffering?
Suffering?
Is the world not suffering?
A little bit.
A little bit.
That's what I see. Relatively.
So it'll need to suffer a little more.
Because I see what people are engaging with all day. It's not that they're...
We, in order to save the world from these blows and to return it to the good path, to the path of connection, which will draw the light through the connection and to develop properly, with pleasure, easily, in a good way. That's why we publish the wisdom of Kabbalah. And there are those who do the opposite. Their role is to disrupt. They do the other way around. And so that's how we work. So